What is up, everyone? This story is definitely sad, and I'm not here to rejoice in anyone's downfall or anything like that. But this story is about Nene Leakes and some former employees. They're claiming that she closed down her last swag boutique and they're still waiting to get paid, and they were not informed about the closure, but we're going to talk about it. Again, not here to laugh at the story, not here to gloat or to say anything like I told you so, or this isn't surprising or isn't shocking or anything like that. But we know that Nene's been going through it. She really has. But I'm just going to share the story, and then I'm going to share my thoughts on it. And then I want to know what you guys think about this in the comment section. But this story, it comes from sandrarose.com, and they're saying that she reportedly shuttered her last remaining swag boutique and didn't inform her employees, who are still waiting for paychecks. Nene's employees and managers showed up to the swag boutique at the MGM Casino in Oxon Hill, Maryland, only to find the door padlocked and the space empty. One of Nene's former employees is being evicted from her apartment. In an email to sandrarose.com, she said Nene never informed her or any of the other employees that she was planning to close the store. And honestly, that's not a requirement. That may sound like it's cruel and unusual, but when businesses are going under and they're going through financial hardships, it is not a requirement that they let the staff know that they're shutting things down, and it's a courtesy to let people know. Most people would have a courtesy in their heart to let people know, even if it's like, look, today is going to be the last day. After today, it's just done. It's a done deal. But I don't really know why. I don't know how many employees she had remaining. And I'm not calling anyone silly or stupid or dumb or anything like that. But if they have been paying attention to the things that have been going on, she closed her other boutiques and she lost her husband. She is not on the Real Housewives of Atlanta anymore. When she opened up all of those boutiques, she was a main staple on that show. That was primarily her bread and butter, was the Real Housewives of Atlanta. As much as she may have wanted to not admit it, especially in earlier years when it seemed like her star was on the rise, and like she used to say a lot, I have arrived and the spotlight is on me. Like, it's really not anymore. And unfortunately, a lot of the light that's being shown on her is because, one, she lost her husband, unfortunately, and two, because of negative situations like this. She was at one time being booked and very busy on different shows, and whether it was on television or on Broadway or in Vegas, like, she was doing her thing. So she was getting those checks. And at one time, she is well known for saying she's cashing Trump checks. Like, that was one of the lines from the Real Housewives of Atlanta when she and Sheree were going at it. And she said, I'm very rich, bitch. And she said, I was cashing Trump checks, Donald Trump. So that definitely is not what it is anymore. And it's not something that I'm happy about. I don't like to see anybody go down, but it just makes you wonder, is she being humbled? Because she definitely did get the air about herself on the show that it is me and only me, and I am the star, and all of these other girls are minions. And that's the air that she had about herself on the show for a good while. And that's one of the reasons why I even felt like she was a little bit threatened by Kenya. As many people who don't like Kenya more, there are a lot of people who liked her. I like Kenya. I mean, she was good for TV. And again, she's going through her own stuff as well with the marriage and the baby and the custody and all that messiness with her now. Well, they're not divorced yet, so I won't say ex-husband, but with her husband. And so they all are going through stuff. They all have stuff that they're dealing with. But if they were paying attention to the news stories, they probably should have been getting prepared to say, you know what, it's time to be up out of here, because I don't know how much longer this is going to last. And so I didn't even know she still had any more boutiques open, to be quite honest with you, because during everything that was going on last year with the virus and the pandemic, a lot of the news was out about her closing down the boutiques down in those other places. So I didn't even know that this one was still open. So they probably should have been getting their things together and getting other jobs. And I don't know what the job market is like where they're located, but like right now, they're waiving drug tests. They are paying people bonuses just to show up for interviews. Like, there is an abundance of jobs out here right now because there's so much craziness going on. People need people. People need workers. People need employees. They're looking to hire. So this person said, we can't even get unemployment because Nene is refusing to answer and return the phone calls from the unemployment office. Now, I don't know how every state works with the unemployment situation, but most places, if the company does not respond when they send those letters out in the mail for the employer, if they don't respond within a certain period of time, then they usually just go ahead and file against the employer and you get the unemployment benefits awarded to you. That's how a lot of places work. I can't say it's like that where they're located because I don't know, but that's usually how it works. And they should also probably file a complaint with the Department of Labor if indeed, you know, that is a situation where they feel like she's done or is doing something wrong. But at this point, because she's closed all of her boutiques down, I don't think she would really care if they filed a Labor Department complaint against her, because I don't really know if she had the swag boutique under the same employment identification number as she does for her Lanithia Lounge that she has in Duluth, Georgia, because it's a totally different business. She may have one EIN number, which is the employment identification number, which is like your social security number for your business. Or if she's smart, then she probably has several different business entities, and the Lanithia Lounge is not under the same. So if they indeed did file a Department of Labor complaint against her, it wouldn't really matter with regards to her current business, because Swag Boutique is a completely different business. But again, I don't really know how the unemployment situation works in the state that they're located in, but if they filed and she did not respond, or her manager or HR department, or, you know, any of that stuff, because I don't know if she had other people in place to handle that stuff, I would assume she probably did. I would assume. I could be wrong, but they would usually handle those things. And then if they didn't respond to any correspondence from the unemployment or the employment department, then they would just immediately automatically file against her and the company, and they would get awarded the benefits, and they would just charge it to her, whether she would have to reimburse them a portion of it, or if they already were paying for it out of their paychecks with the taxes that were paid or whatever. I don't know how long they worked there, but they probably should have been just paying attention to the things that were going on and just saying, you know what, I don't know if this is going to last, so we need to get preparations ready to get up out of here. But the story continues. It says, money has been tight for the former Real Housewives of Atlanta star, who lost her high-paying RHOA gig due to alleged insubordination and alleged difficulties getting along with her co-stars. Nene closed down her Buckhead and Duluth stores last year due to the pandemic. Again, like I just said, they may have wanted to pay attention to that and just assume, like, look, if she closed down the stores that were closest to her in Georgia where she lives, why do we think she would keep the one up here open? But again, those are just my thoughts. What do you think? She also shut down her Sugar Loaf Mills location in Lawrenceville, Georgia, and one store in Florida. So she had 5 boutiques, or maybe there was more, but those are the ones that they're naming. And the story also says the 53-year-old Sagittarius. I wonder if like they're trying to throw shade when they say that, because, you know, why do they have to say how old she is and the fact that she's a Sagittarius? So they're basically, I feel like, I could be wrong, but I basically feel like they're trying to say, you know, the attributes of a Sagittarius is this. You look it up, and maybe this is why things are being handled the way that they're being handled. But again, I'm just reading it that way. And it says she still manages the Lenithia restaurant and lounge in Duluth, Georgia, and calls to the Lenithia lounge for comment were not returned. Okay, here's what I want to know. You let me know your thoughts. Do you feel that Nene is being humbled in some way? Because I watched The Real Housewives of Atlanta from the first season up until the most recent, and the most recent was, you know, one that I didn't really get too much into, so I just kind of watched it on the fly when I had time. It wasn't something that I was looking forward to watching. But over the years, Nene was like a fan favorite in the beginning, as ghetto or loud or boisterous or just off the cuff, reading people, whatever, as she wanted to be. People loved her or they hated her, but she was good TV. And then over the years, as her star rose, it just seemed like she was just getting a huge head, and it was not attractive. You want to see people grow and thrive, but not to the extent of you throwing it in people's faces, and it just wasn't a good look. I mean, I am sorry that she lost her husband. I really am. This has nothing to do with her husband and the loss of her significant other. This is all about the way she's been handling business and the things that are going on right now, and her own actions in the past, and just looking at what it is right now. In a way, it looks to me like it is a bit of a humbling experience. And I'm not saying that God is trying to humble her or somebody is trying to humble her or whatever, but sometimes we go through situations in life. It is for you to learn from, for sure, but also sometimes it is to humble you a bit if you are in a place where your head is just too high. I mean, the Bible even says, you know, never to think more highly of yourself than you ought to think. And I always remember that scripture because it is real. There are so many people who think so highly of themselves that it is nauseating. It's like, gag me with a shovel. I cannot stand people that just think so highly of themselves. Yes, you should have high self-esteem, and you shouldn't allow anyone to tear down your character or try to steal your joy or to make you feel like you're not worthy or anything like that. But when you're throwing in your face about how booked and busy you are and all of these different things like that, it just stands to wonder, maybe what you are experiencing in life right now is to help to humble you in a way, and hopefully you learn from it, you grow from it, and then when you get out of this place, because it doesn't have to last always, you will be better from it. I am sorry to see that she's going through this. I don't know what will come of the people who are saying they're waiting to get their paychecks. I don't know how many people there are. I don't know how many paychecks that they're waiting to get paid, but it is, for me, a humbling experience in my point of view from what she's going through. She's trying to sell her home. It's still on the market. She's lowered the price some more. And it's a sad situation to see, but I know that there are a lot of people out there that don't really care for her, that are just like, well, look, this is what she asked for. This is what she put out, and she's just getting it back. And just reading some of the comments from the blog, some of the people that are just saying things like, one person says, swag boutique sounds ghetto as heck. I'm guessing the items she sold were about as luxurious as that cheap, tired ass wig she's been sporting for the longest. She had opportunities that a lot of those housewives didn't get, and she decided to throw it away by being a narcissist. And someone else responds to that and says it was overpriced also. I went to look. I was like, oh no, Nene, hell no, that mess was doomed from the beginning. And someone else says, I'm sure Nene never saw this for herself 5 or so years ago, and it's a shame that at her age, she's still learning the hard way that you get what you give in life. They need to all sue for those missed wages and unemployment. Maybe if she pays with an expensive lesson, she'll finally learn. Someone else says her life is falling apart. She should have been humble and mild. Folk always want to be like the WHITE people. Don't forget where you came from. And, you know, and there's a lot of other things that people are saying. I'm not going to read all of them, but the mass consensus around what's going on and what is coming to the spotlight is the fact that people feel that this is probably to humble her because of how she has been over the years, thinking she's up there above everyone else, high and mighty. I'm the ace. You all are, the cards underneath. It's just like people feel that way. I don't think anyone is celebrating what is going on, but it's just what people are seeing, and it's hard to see when you really care about people. It is hard to see when they're going through things like this, and then you just remember some of the things that they've said and done, and you wonder, is this some of your own doing? This has nothing to do with her husband losing his life. Nothing. Because if we will be 100% honest, if you watch The Real Housewives of Atlanta when she and he were on the show and he was going through the cancer before he went into remission, and then unfortunately, started going through that again, she was not very nice to him. She really wasn't. And that was hard to watch. And I'm quite sure her nasty attitude later on with the other ladies and not wanting to show up and walking off of the filming and closing the computer when they had the virtual reunion that year or whatever. I'm sure those actions, coupled with just the uncomfortableness of her being on this show and speaking about Greg and to Greg as he was going through the sickness, it was hard to watch. I heard someone say that, people don't want to see trauma, they want to see drama when it comes to these reality shows, and that is 100% accurate. People don't want to watch these shows and see you going through hard times and struggle and trauma. Not on The Real Housewives of Atlanta. Now they might go to another network and watch a documentary of some sort or something like that to see people going through these things, but not on this show. So it's just a hard watch, especially even more so with recently she came out to say that she's open to coming back on The Real Housewives of Atlanta, when quite honestly, I don't think they would want to have her back. Not after her claiming that the network is racist, Andy is a racist, all of these other things. Like, she was out there calling them out on Twitter, doing Instagram posts, doing, online interviews with Benjamin Crump, checking, cash chasing Ben Crump. Like, no, I don't think they would have her back. Not at all. No. So you guys let me know your thoughts about all of this in the comment section, but it's just a sad thing to see. I hope these people get their just payments, whether it's through unemployment or whether they get their checks or however it is. And if the story isn't right, if it's not true, I hope she'll come out or have somebody from her company come out and make the situation known and reveal the truth, or if it is, make it right for the staff and just move forward with your life. So this isn't something that people will continue to go to these different blogs and do interviews about her and about the company and saying she ain't S and all this other stuff, because that's one of the quotes from one of the former employees. Says she is trifling and is really a fake individual who cares about no one but herself. She used us and spit us out like we was trash and gives 2 F's about our livelihood. Now, yeah. So you guys let me know your thoughts about all of this in the comment section. Thank you so much for liking, commenting, and subscribing. And until the next time, I'm just being beautifully honest.